Problem number 3 asks us to evaluate. We are asked to evaluate the problem f of x is equal to 5 minus x quantity squared when x is 8. So we know that evaluation simply means to plug in this x value and figure out what we get. So f of 8, we would have 5 minus 8 quantity squared. 5 minus 8 is negative 3, and we need to square that. Well, to square something means to multiply it by itself. So negative 3 times negative 3 is positive 9, because a negative times a negative is a positive. Okay, problem 4 asks us to evaluate 2x plus 7 over x squared minus 9 when x is 3. So we're going to plug in 3 every time we see an x. So we have 2 times 3 plus 7 over 3 squared minus 9. Two times 3, we have to use our order of operations. We do multiplication before we do addition. 2 times 3 is 6 plus 7 over 3 squared is 9 minus 9. So we have f of 3 is equal to 6 plus 7 is 13, and 9 minus 9 is 0. Now we know that we cannot divide by 0. Therefore, the answer to this problem is no solution. Cannot divide by 0. So if you get divided by 0, it means there's no solution to the problem. Okay, problem 7 is a fraction buster. It requires us to find the least common multiple of the denominators. So the denominators we have here, well, this is just x, so its denominator is just 1. We have 1, 2, and 5. We can write 21 as a fraction, the whole number, so it's over 1. So what we really need to know is the least common multiple of 2 and 5. Well, the smallest number that 2 and 5 both go into is 10. So we're going to multiply everything by 10. So we're going to have 10 times x plus 10 times x over 2 plus 10 times 3x over 5 is equal to 21 times 10. Okay, so now we have to work this out. 10 divided by 1 is just 10. So 10 times x is 10x plus 10 divided by 2 is 5, and 5 times x is 5x. 10 divided by 5 is 2, so 2 times 3x is 6x. And 10 divided by 1 is just 10. 10 times 21, well, that's easy. We just put a 0 on the end. It's 210. So now we have to combine like terms and solve our equation. So we have 10x plus 5x plus 6x. Well, 10x plus 5x is 15x plus 6x is 21x is equal to 210. That 21 is multiplied by x, so we're going to divide both sides. We're dividing both sides by 21 since that 21 is multiplied by x. So x equals 10. You can always check your answer by plugging it back in. 10 divided by 1 is 10. 10 divided by 2 is 5. 10 times 3 is 30. 30 divided by 5 is 6. So that would be 10 plus 5 is 15 plus 6 is 21. Well, 21 equals 21. So we did well there. Okay, once again, we have a fraction buster, so we need to find the lowest common multiple of our denominators. So we have 2x and x. We could also throw 6 into the mix, but we're going to do it with just 2x and x, just what's on one side of the equal sign. Okay, 2x and x, the smallest thing that they both go into is 2x. So we're going to multiply everything by 2x. Bless you. Okay, 2x divided by 2x, well, those cancel. So we're left with 3. 2x divided by x, the x's cancel. So we're left with 2 times 5, which is 10. We had to multiply this side by 2x. So over here, we have 13 times 2x, which is 26x divided by 6. You could have tried to say 2x divided by 6, but it's not a whole number, so it didn't help us very much. Okay, so now we have 3 plus 10 is 13. 13 equals 26x over 6. Well, over 6 means divided by 6. So to undo division, we multiply. So we're going to multiply both sides by 6. Okay, I'm going to draw an arrow and come back up here so I have more room to write. Okay, 13 times 6. Well, 13 times 5 is 65. So 13 times 6 is going to be 78. 78 is going to equal 26x because our 6 is canceled. That was the point. Now that 26 is multiplied by our x, so to undo multiplication, we're going to divide both sides by 26. 78 divided by 26 is 3. So x equals 3. Okay, this next problem simply asks us to solve for the variable, which in this case is x. So the first thing we need to do is get rid of our parentheses, and we're going to do that by distributing this 2. So we have 2 times 3x, which is going to give us 6x, and 2 times negative 1, which is going to give us negative 2. Plus 7 equals negative 13. Okay, so we have 6x minus 2 plus 7 is positive 5. That equals negative 13. Okay, we're going to subtract 5 from each side. 6x is equal to negative 13 minus 5, which is negative 18. We have 6x, so we have to divide both sides by 6. To get x equals negative 3. Okay, so this last problem in the new material says quantity x plus 1 squared equals 81. Well, we know that if we square this out, we would have x plus 1 times x plus 1, which is going to require a generic rectangle. It'll result in a quadratic, which if we graph it would be a parabola. We could do that, but there's an easier way to do this. We have x plus 1 squared, and we know how to undo a square. Just like we undo addition with subtraction and multiplication with division, we undo a square with a square root. And all they do is undo each other. So since we square rooted both sides, we're left with x plus 1 equals the square root of 81. Now here's where you have to be careful. Let's think back. We said this was a parabola. A parabola would have two x-intercepts most likely. And the way that we would get that is by using the positive and the negative root. So we can have this equals 9, and we can also have x plus 1 equals negative 9. Because negative 9 times negative 9 is still positive 81. So now it's pretty easy to solve this. We just subtract 1 from each side to get x equals 8. And over here, we subtract 1 from each side to get x equals negative 10.